try and do like a reveal. Let's see. I haven't seen my arm yet. It seems to be killing it, and it didn't spread. It's late, but I stayed up late. I stayed up playing games with Dylan until 3 a.m. I normally try to go to bed at midnight. 1 a.m. is like my cutoff. And then on those rare occasions, I'll stay up even later. But like last year, I learned I can't stay up past 4 a.m. Otherwise, I just don't sleep for the entire day. Or I lose the entire day to sleeping and just being exhausted. So I used to not sleep much. I would push myself to stay up as long as possible repeatedly whenever I was in high school and then beyond. Like I was cleaning as a janitor for it was an NHRA event. Yeah, because it was drag racing. I was doing custodial work. And the shifts started at 6 a.m. and ended at like 4. It wasn't a full 12 hours. It was like 10 hours. And then the next crew would come in and they'd work until like 4 a.m. or something, right? Because we just basically, they had one set of vans would come pick us up from where and then drop us off. And then that group would be, the vans would have the replacement people like the next shift, and then we'd get on the vans and swap. So the shift started and ended at the same time. And I'd worked the full day. And there was someone that was sick that was on the next crew. And so I told them to just go, that they should leave. And I just took their shift. And so I wound up working until the next shift the next morning. I want to say it was like 20 hours, 22 hours, something like that. It was just one night's sleep. It was cool. That's when that was the first time I'd ever really I guess got recognized by a third party for my efforts, right? Because like I got pulled aside and they actually gave me food. The owners of the cleaning thing or whatever, right? Like we'd been living off peanut butter jelly sandwiches and like Nutri-Grain bars or something, crunchy peanut butter Nutri-Grain bars and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and like a banana or an apple. I got pulled aside and recognized for my valiant effort, I would say. And they were from Franklin, Tennessee. Yeah. So that was a time I stayed up really late while working, and then I was a pallet mover for the post office, and it was for the Christmas rush. and it was like the last loadout before, all the stuff that was going out that evening. So it would have been like the 23rd of December. Everything going out that evening would have been arriving the day before Christmas for everybody. And there's only 2 freight elevators. The trucks were at the bottom, and all the package and sorting was on the first floor. And so it was built on the side of like a hill, and it was multiple stories, but like ground level, floor 1 was where we did all the sorting, and then the loading docks were actually the basement. But there was only 2 freight elevators, and everybody left because their shifts were over. Everybody left, and there was no managers because they all left because their shifts were over. Everybody left, but the loading dock crew was still loading up trucks because that's it had to be done. But if there was nobody to load the elevators, how were they going to get anything? So I just stayed and up top until every single package was loaded, and got it done. Wound up loading the last because we had them all in rows of 2. Might have been like 12 to 14 pallets, and it's really just time consuming. It's not like I'm not saying, oh, this was hard work or anything. It's really just the fact that there's only 2 elevators. They're slow. You send it down, they have to unload it and send it up. So you're just really restricted on how fast you can get things done. That was limited sleep. I nearly fell asleep while driving home during that, because I lived an hour away from the post office. Yeah, and I was driving that on the way home, and the car in front of me veered off of the road into a rail, and then I woke up and realized no, that didn't happen. But I made it home safe. I used to, I'm trying to think of what other, just for the sake of it, stay up, see how long you can stay up without sleeping. And then I had a long period of my life where all I did was sleep. Sleep. That's all I did. Sleep, because I didn't want to be awake. There was nothing, I feel the opposite now, but there was nothing I had, which is perspective. It's perspective, because life hasn't really changed. But I didn't want to, there was nothing that the reality was bringing me satisfaction. And so I would try to sleep as often as possible, because at least in my dreams, good stuff was happening to me. But now now I don't like sleeping. I mean, aside from that, it can be nice. It can be spiritual. You need it. It's part of it. You gotta do it. Just like eating. I don't know if you should fast sleep, though. I think that's different. But most of the time throughout the Bible, it'll say that whoever's talking with God, it'll say that they went into a deep slumber. I don't know if you've ever noticed that. But it seems like there's some sort of gateway between the dream state and stuff. I think maybe before you fully enter it, there's kind of this weird, you kind of get a weird, those photos, there's those photos, the, stereograms. So maybe it's like crossing your eyes, right? You cross your internal imaginary eye with your external physical eye, and you get that weird stereogram thing. Something like that, I guess. But I slept in today. Not really. I woke up at I woke up at 7. I woke up at 7. I said it's Saturday. Everybody else is asleep. Everybody else is asleep. My arm hurts. And so I pulled up the devotional. I read the devotional, and it was about letting your light shine. Let your actions. It's actually what my meeting with Bob was about, which is kind of crazy. Maybe not. Maybe not crazy. Maybe confirmation. Yeah, because after I had my meeting with him, I reflected upon it, and then the next day I wake up and read today's, which that's funny too, right? It's like a pre-assigned, this lady pre-assigned the days that these verses are for and what she's talking about, and they still keep lining up, right? They keep coming into place. And pattern recognition, everybody, they say people are really good at pattern recognition and like to draw lines and make patterns that aren't there. But I don't know if you've seen the Fibonacci sequence. It seems like there's patterns in everything, whether or not you mean for them to be, because it's like the universe, it's like the rules. So anyways, the verse today was about how your actions will show that you've changed, and that the people around you can't help but notice it, especially if they did know you before. And as you continue to behave as a new person. And then Bob was telling me some interesting stuff about how, he was telling me the same thing, I guess, like that, actions speak louder than words, that if, because my heart breaks for a lot of my friends, and there's nothing I can do about it. God softens hearts, God hardens hearts. Jesus is the stumbling block. It's just not an easy thing. It didn't come like, if they hated him, they're gonna hate me. A really tragic thing happened recently where, I don't even want to say it. That's something else too, right? The evils of this world are so evil. I don't even want to speak about them. I don't want that coming off my tongue. I don't want it going in your ear. Because if I say it, and then you hear it, and then you think it, I put a thought in your head. I put an image in your head. If anything, I'm perpetuating that darkness. So we should only think of good. We should only think of the light. Everything righteous, everything holy, everything worthy of being praised. All the good things. Think on those things. And let's watch our tongues. Let's not curse our brothers and sisters. And then let's not put vile, nasty thoughts in their brains. But so a tragic thing happened. And it really is. But it's not my place to condemn. I can feel how I feel about things, but I can never wish death upon anyone. They're wanting to give this guy the death penalty. And I get that the wages of his actions are death. But we are not the executioners. We're not the... it's the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, right? By taking of that, we're saying, I can be the judge. I can rule. I can determine right from wrong. I can decide, and I can condemn. But that's not That's not our role. That's not what we're supposed to do. At least not yet. At least not yet. One day, when we're not children. You know, I think C.S. Lewis was right. He said that the whole trick with what Satan did was that he had the kids partake of the tree before they were supposed to, right? Adam and Eve might have been might have been created as fully formed adults or whatever. It doesn't actually say, does it? But they C.S. Lewis argues that they were still children, right? They hadn't been around long enough. They hadn't fully developed, and that the tree of knowledge of good and evil would have one day been given to them once they'd reached maturity. And I think that makes sense. And so the big trick of Satan is like that it's actually a restriction and that it wasn't temporary. And then there's also the instructions God gave Adam was don't eat it. The instructions Adam gave Eve was don't touch it. So how easy was it then for the snake to come in and say, well, then how much of, how true is the eating part? If when you touch it, you didn't die. Or if you're one of those Paradise Lost and Lilith people, you think that whole analogy was that Satan... Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. These weirdos. Freaking weirdos out there. I think it's in Hebrew that Paul talks about when you're young in faith, you need, like just like in real life, you need watered down food and milk because your stomach can't handle it. And then as you get more developed, you want the heartier meals. You want the steaks. And so I think I'm at that point, but I still should probably couch some of what I'm saying in order, because I don't know who you are. I don't know how far you are in your journey. Oh yeah, so I'm gonna keep going. I'm probably gonna wind up. No, maybe this will be its own thing too. We'll see what happens. I've got big plans for the day. I'm gonna try to take care of this. Gonna try and do some yard work here. I slept in. It's later, but I woke up at 7. I did the thing. I went back to bed. I slept in too long though. I do feel rested. Still gonna drink coffee, but I don't feel like I need coffee, so that's good. Like I feel like I'm actually awake, and I need to get a shower and get ready. Look at those fluffy eggs. Oh, look at that. Crispy bacon. So forget all this, let me treat it with something and put whatever on it and whatever. That's not acting in faith. Jesus said that we get, as his servants, we can, in his name, do everything he did and greater. He healed lepers. He brought Lazarus back. So he can remove this poison from me. So thank you, Lord, for your healing and for all that you do, and let this be a testament. It turns out that the phone number I was using to reach out to Jack was incorrect. So I don't know when he changed it, but I got the new number today. I'm gonna reach back out to him about this bicycle. I got WD-40 finally, so I'm gonna hit it with WD-40 and get it over to him. Potentially mowing. It depends on, there's an electric mower here and a gas mower. I'm not really sure what's going on. My lawnmower is in Dalton, an hour away. So I could always go get that if I had to. We'll see what happens. Well, what do we got here? looks like oil to me. Where? Look right there. Looks like it's coming from up higher though. In constant sorrow all through, I am a man. Constant sorrow. I don't see it. It's definitely that seal up there. It's definitely that seal up there because it's going all the way down that. Right over there. It's this valve. I think it's that guy right there. Oh, look at this. What's this? What's going on here? What's going on here? What's that about? Vibrating off. But yeah, that leak looks like it's from this pipe right here going. There's like a connector right there. All right, I'm about to start mowing. I'm pretty disheartened with my truck because I just had it fixed. I had just taken it to a mechanic and I traded labor for repairs. It was like equivalent to like a $3,000 repair because it was something I couldn't do myself. The entire like fuel system had to be, because it's been leaking oil before, but it was completely repaired. That was like 4 months ago, and now it's leaking again. It's broken. I only drove it to Dalton twice, so it's like I've driven it 200 something miles over the week and it broke. But so I'm pretty disheartened that it's already broken again, and it's, you know, it's not even that it's a big deal, it's just that it just keeps happening. I mean, it's an old truck, I get that, but I don't know, just pray for me, we'll figure something out. So a little bit of good news. It's not oil. It's coolant. Thought it was oil. Thank goodness it's not. It's just coolant. So it's still like a seal, a clasp that I have to change out, or maybe a pipe, or it's like dry rotted or something. But it's not an oil leak. So that makes me feel a lot better. But yeah, I'm finished with the front yard here. You can tell which side I mowed. Look at all these. Look at all these ants. I think that's the castle. That's your kingdom right there. Probably going under the foundation, maybe under the foundation of this concrete slab. Because look here, look at all that. That's still. Gonna keep the winged ones, right? The like guardians or whatever. There's a lot of them. All over in there. See, look, I'm thinking that
I think they're under, because there's the, I think they're under the concrete slab, because here's more holes here. Oh, now they're on my shoe. Oh, and look, here we go. And that more. Here we go, more. Man, you could make a really good piece of art. You've seen that before, where people pull over like molten metals, or I don't think they do it with maybe they do it with concrete. Have you ever seen that, where they pour stuff into the, there's a wasp. They pour stuff into the nest. Usually it's abandoned nest. I don't think they do it whenever there's ants in them. And then, man, what's my hair doing? Whatever, I don't really care. It's just hair. I'm doing a walk of the yard, the backyard here. That's how I noticed those ants. I am policing, as it were, where you go up and down, you know, columns and rows, whatever. Rows, columns, which one is it? Row, column. Yeah, so you should look that up. There's pretty cool ones out there with where they pour all that stuff. Either like, I forget it, I think it's metal. I'm pretty sure they pour metal into it. They excavate it and then they pressure wash it off and sell it as art. Oh, another fun one of where it's like nature made art, because you know the ants made it and then someone else just cast it. Is where they'll put a rod in like a bed of sand, a lightning rod, and then whenever the storm comes through and strikes it, it'll turn it into sheet glass or whatever, and they sell that stuff. That's pretty cool too. You should look that up. I'm not gonna do it for you. You don't have to. I mean, you could just take my word for it and just imagine what you think it would look like. More complex vehicles. 1993. That was really nice. It's really nice of him to do that. I don't know if you saw. I don't know if he was on, if we were on camera or not. Time to change out the battery here. This big guy. All right. Does it charge there? Onboard battery storage. No. Okay. Let's go put it on the charger. This is a chunky boy. Ah, that's why this is designed like that, because it can go on any battery, or any of the Ryobi batteries, obviously. There it goes. What's it say here? What color is that light? I'm colorblind. Power on. Testing. Error. Charging. Ready. It's not blinking, so maybe it's not working. Maybe it's too hot. Maybe the battery's too hot. Had sitting there for a little bit before we plug it in. Maybe that's what's wrong. See, it was just too hot. I just need to get this powered down and put up. But yeah, all finished. I also found what Nova was chewing on. It's wasp nest, old wasp nest. haven't gotten any comments yet, please leave a comment or questions, comments, feedback, anything like that. Didn't mean to rhyme, but I do it all the time. It's a gift. It's a gift. I'm gonna do that again, actually. Nah, I'll just leave it. It's more fun, right? Like, this is like, it's not scripted. It's all off the top of my head. So we'll just keep it that way. Leave the video 5 stars. Click on all the buttons. Leave comments. Let's start a dialogue. And you are blessed and highly favored. God loves you. Bye. For now, I'll talk to you tomorrow.